to say, I think most of you will agree with me, that she's the most amazing, warm-hearted person, blessed with a phenomenal IQ. She's a person for whom self-respect is at most importance, and she'll not hesitate to stand up against anyone as long as she's right. Anyone who meets her is left with the impression of hers in their heart and mind. She is known as my Muslim mama in the city. My father, a lot of times I have to question these people that my father had only one wife. And because people think that my father had one Hindu wife, one Muslim wife. So, Leena and I are lucky to have her in our lives, and every day we are showered with blessings from her. This is the part I love the most, being a Sindhi when you get too much of everything. Because she prays so many times in the day, and she sends me so many duas. I'd like to thank you, Mama, for all the duas you sent, which has been a result of quite a bit of my success. Hassan, Nishi and Nurain became a part of our family thanks to her. After reading the book, my admiration for her has gone up tenfold, and I can assure the same will happen to all of you who have known her for so many years. After reading the book, you'll find a different side of her, and even when you look at her with complete different outlook as you looked at her before reading the book. It's amazing the way she's led her life and then put her experiences in such a simple manner that all of you will be able to understand her. I would like to thank everyone involved in helping us host this event, teams from Union Minhter, Embassy, Next Level, and of course the Four Seasons staff. And of course, yes, happy birthday, Mama.
Biography embedded in us by two angels, and one our right and other left shoulder as per our religious belief. The angels write the good deeds and bad deeds on right and left respectively. On the day of judgment, our fate is decided on which side is more heavier. When we are good followers of our faith and obey the rules and pray for forgiveness to the most merciful Allah, God, for our slip-ups, then left side deeds are deleted. Nafees in a politically adventurous life and now is helping the angels to make the task easy by publishing her autobiography. Wish her the best for little time we have left to make her good deeds, which are plenty, when she was holding a medical education portfolio. Thanks to Mr. Krishna ji, is heavier on the right side of the weighing scale. Her autobiography is to encourage women of substance to take on weak men. Best of luck to all upcoming ladies, bold and beautiful, as my wife, to get encouraged. Thank you.
One to Mr. Krishna, please. Hassan, you can just present that to Mr. S M Krishna. You can open it out. May I have the books on stage, please?
ಈ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಸಮಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರೇ ಮತ್ತು ಮಹನೀಯರೇ, ನಫೀಸ್ ಫಾಜಲ್ ಅವರು ಕೆಲವು ದಿನಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಆತ್ಮಚರಿತ್ರೆಯನ್ನು ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸಂಧ್ಯಾ ಅವರು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು I was a little concerned about what she is going to write about. She is one of those unpredictable women that I have met in politics. But I have known her since 1985. I remember the year also. I have known her since 1985. That is about 40 years. Or a little more than that. I don't know how we ran into each other and how she became close to those who were close to me in life. She became close to my wife, and the home front was taken care of. And then I had another friend who used to live in Western Hotel. His name is R.T. Narayan, who was for some time my eyes and ears. And she took care of him by visiting him to the Western Hotel quite often for lunch without invitation. She is a remarkable lady. Deep likes and dislikes. Well, all of us are, I suppose. Some express themselves, but many of us do not express what we like and what we don't like, but we keep it within ourselves. Her childhood has been as disturbing as it turned out to be her political life also. She was a rebel in the real sense of the term. She rebelled against her parents. She rebelled against her aunts and maternal uncles. And she did what exactly she wanted to do. Hi Manu. Namaskar. She wanted to become a legislator. She was trying very hard, and I knew that. But as the chance could have it, I became the Chief Minister of the state, and there were a number of vacancies which I had to fill up. And one of the strong contenders was Nafees Fazal. Well, those days, in the 90s, late 90s and early 2000s, it was not easy to identify a Muslim lady and then project her to be a legislator. Well, when I made up my mind, I thought that this young lady who has been a rebel all through should be able to do something noteworthy in her political life. And I knew that she was yearning for it. And of course, she did whatever that was to be done to get the masters in Delhi to accept. And ultimately, she became a member of the Legislative Council. And she was a quick learner. She understood how to pull the wire or how to plug the wire. So plugging and unplugging is very natural for a politician. So Nafees ji became a legislator, and she started giving vent to her thoughts on the floor of the House of the Legislative Council. And believe me when I say that she did make a big impact. Of course, not when she tried to speak in Kannada. But whenever she spoke, she tried to speak in Kannada, but ultimately found easy expression in the English language. But I must admire her eagerness to talk in Kannada, and I don't know if she took lessons at home for Kannada coaching. When I was called upon to become the Chief Minister of the state, I had to assemble a cabinet, and the cabinet had to be balanced between castes and communities, between religions, between genders, which I found to be an uphill task. Ultimately, I gave birth to a new cabinet consisting of 40 and odd ministers. I did it in one go because if I had phased it out, the pressure that was going to be mounted on the leader of the party was going to be enormous and which might drive me crazy. So when I, except for 2 slots, I think I filled up everything. And then the question as to what portfolio to be given to her or to other my distinguished colleagues in the then government. Then I thought that she was good in education, and I had already promised one of the ministers that he would be made the education minister. So I thought medical education was something which she could be interested with. She did it with, of course, controversies always follow her, or she follows controversies. I think she went to Victoria Hospital, Bowring Hospital. These were neglected health sector institutions in Bangalore, and she created a furor. And well, I was a little uncomfortable with all the media limelight that was being shed on her. But one thing I noticed, her intentions were honest. Her intentions were transparently honest. I thought that I should encourage a lady that was from a minority community. In those days, see, this was about 2 decades back. It wasn't easy for a lady to make a mark, but I must say that she did make a tremendous mark, and then I must congratulate her. She alerted the medical education and the hospitals that came under her purview, and well, she went on in her own way as her conscience dictated her to do, and she became a talking point both within the legislature as well as outside. Then it came one bad day for her. I was in Anugrah, the Chief Minister's house, and a friend of mine came and told me that Mrs. Nafees Fazal was dancing in Western Hotel. I couldn't believe that she is capable of that. Not about dancing. Dancing you are capable of, but in the Western Hotel, under the camera glare, do it. No, that subsequently, I got really worried and wild. So I sent my PS and then asked her resignation letter. On hindsight, which I think was a very stupid thing for me to do, without hearing from her side what the story was. That's where I erred. So then she came to my house, and of course by then she had a good friend in my wife Prema, and then both of them took me to task. And she said that all that I was doing was tapping with her feet when others were dancing. That is the only, if you call that in discussion, when I go to music concerts, I also do that, not with my feet, but with my fingers, So I found that there was nothing wrong in it. But still, I wanted her to resign. And then, of course, I was taken to task by the other friends, and then ultimately I tore the resignation letter which she had sent. And then I put her in charge of science and technology. And then to my great surprise, she became a great friend of the former President of India, Shri Konark. Once, as the Minister for Science and Technology, she brought Kalam Saab to my office. I don't know if she remembers. And I was very impressed with the footwork she had done in getting Mr. Kalam to visit Vidhan Soda, who subsequently visited Vidhan Soda as President of India. Nafees Fazal as gone a long way since then. She tried many things which annoyed the politicians of that time very much, you know. And let me be honest, she had no supporters from her own community. But in her I found the genuine desire to help the poor, and she wanted hospitals to live up to certain standards, you know. And when I was going through the book, the manuscript which she had sent for my reference, most of what she has written about our contemporary politicians and their behavior, I must say, she had told me even then. When she was taken in a railway train and abandoned somewhere in a God-forsaken place, I think in the next 2 days she came to me and then told me that this is what happened because of so many things. I felt great pity. How could anybody abandon a lady in a God-forsaken platform without minding, you know, having brought her up to that point? I think God, it is unimaginable. But she withstood that. She was able to find her own base. She touched base, and then she started just as if nothing had happened. Nafees Fazal ji, I wish you many more years of healthy life, and I know that you don't have political ambitions, nor do I have. So both of us can keep company along with Prema. May God, may Allah bless you and your family. Thank you so much for bringing me.
All the family, friends, relations, well-wishers, and maybe some critics, I don't know, in the press. I'm here not to launch the book. The chapter has been opened, the book has been opened, the chapter has been closed, and Krishna ji has done what had to be done. I'm here as a friend to wish Nafeesa on her 75th birthday. As they were, she went away and decided to stay with Indraji. I've known her since then. She calls me her godmother or mentor, whatever it is. I've shared her ups and downs. I've enjoyed good times and bad with her, sharing them, and we have continued to be friends. She's a wonderful person, warm, generous, and a very good friend to have.